Today, I'm delighted to introduce Josef Mastragostino, who has been Tinexta's Chief Investor Relations Officer since April this year. Morning, Josef. How are you?
Great to be here. Thank you.
Great, thanks. My first question is, Tinexta has an established track record of M&A to help diversification and drive growth, but there has been a noticeable pickup in that level of activity over the last 12 months or so. So could you give some perspective on what has driven that, please?
Sure. Well, I would start by saying that Tinexta has grown tremendously, and even more so in the last 12 months. In the history of the company, M&A has always been a key differentiating factor. For that matter, Tinexta has successfully completed approximately 25 M&A deals since 2013, with a total expenditure of approximately 300 million euros. Indeed, in the last 12 months, the level of activity has picked up. And at the end of 2020, we established a business unit entering the cybersecurity space. We purchased 3 well-run companies, Yoroi, Swanscan, and Corvallis, and aim at creating the Italian champion of cybersecurity in Italy. More recently, between the months of June and July of 21, we further increased the M&A activities by completing 3 key deals and signing 1 memorandum of understanding. The group, in fact, has now reached a considerable and respectable size, both in terms of volumes and business. And M&A continues to be the key focus. If I look at the recent announced transaction, we strengthened further developed the credit and information management business unit with the Intesa Sanpaolo for value deal. We partner up with Leonardo to collaborate on Industry 4.0 in data security, both in digital trust and cybersecurity business units. We also completed some bolt-on acquisition in our innovation and marketing services business unit, mostly in the Warrant Hub, as well as entered and expanded our footprint internationally by acquiring a leading certification authority in France. Overall, I would say that Tinexta's goal is to continue to expand and grow its well-proven business model, both organically and via selected M&A.
That's great, thank you. Would you please give an overview of Tinexta's M&A strategy in the context of the 4 business units?
Sure. First of all, Tinexta, as you all know, has 4 business units, namely Digital Trust, which is active in digital identity and dematerialization of processes. Second one is Cybersecurity, which is obviously a strategic infrastructure and a key asset for the protection of citizens as well as their social economy. The third one is Credit and Information Management, which are services and products to assess the credit of businesses and individuals. And lastly, Innovation and Marketing Services, which is a consultancy services project for SMEs for manufacturing and international growth. Let me start with Digital Trust. Digital Trust today has reached considerable size and importance for the group. At a European level, InfoCert, which is the most important company of the business unit, is the largest qualified trust provider by revenues. The product and services offering here is very wide and complete, but the company always needs to stay at the cutting edge in terms of most updated services. InfoCert today is a very well-known brand in Italy, and its awareness is very high. Being such a developed business and developed company, the primary evolution of this business unit is that of growing internationally. The main countries of interest remain France, Spain, and Germany. And in the most recent transaction in France, we have now entered the 2nd largest market in Europe in terms of digital trust. Our goal here is to continue to seek opportunities both nationally and internationally in order to grow our business further. Let me go to cybersecurity. The business unit was established, as I mentioned before, at the end of 2020. The main goal here is to grow and consolidate our market position quickly and in Italy. Only after may we consider going abroad. In the cybersecurity space in Italy, there is no one key player, but rather a very diversified number of players. We intend to grow and create the Italian champion of cybersecurity in Italy by attracting talent. This is a people business. For instance, we established the first cybersecurity academy in the country, which is extremely useful to foster and grow innovation. We have the highest number of penetration testers in Italy, which is a key determining asset, as well as having the ability to promptly scan and monitor systems threats remotely, just to mention a few of these assets. The company operates with key functional areas, namely advisory, implementation services, products to some extent, and managed security services. The industry that we're focusing on are financial services, telcos, SMEs, and the private and public sectors. For cybersecurity, the main focus is growing and fulfilling the always growing demand for cybersecurity in the market. I mean, I'm sure you guys all had the chance to hear cyber attacks represent a serious problem both for SMEs and large corporations. We intend to provide our clients with the most innovative solutions to secure their data and therefore their business going forward. In terms of M&A strategy, while we do not exclude any further bolt-on acquisition, the focus again is to consolidate our position in Italy first. Going to credit and information management, we recently completed a very important M&A deal with the aim to establish a single integrated domestic group for higher value-added services to SMEs. With the Intesa Sanpaolo for Value deal, we will be able to reach a wide and spread network of potentially 150,000 SMEs, servicing them with well-known and well-suited services from Tinexta. More specifically, we will provide business information, the traditional credit management services, real estate services, and BPOs, or business processing outsourcing. The last division, the Innovation and Marketing Services Business Division, which is similar to Digital Trust, has also reached a considerable size, both in terms of services as well as in terms of financials. Let me remind you that IMS is the largest contributor to group EBITDA. The M&A strategy is pretty clear. We will progress both with bolt-on acquisition as well as continue to explore opportunities abroad. In particular, we're looking at Spain, France, and Germany as the key geographies in Europe. Innovative consultancy services as well as temporary expert services are of great demand today, both nationally and internationally.
You've already highlighted the ambitions to have a digital trust presence in many European markets. So would you talk about how quickly you think this can be achieved, please?
Sure. I would say with the recent entrance in the French market, with the acquisition of Cert Europe, which is one of the leading certification authorities in the country, we took a serious step forward in the process of internationalization of Tinexta. France is the second largest market in the European Union in terms of digital trust, growing 23% annually and reaching 500 million euros by 2025. The company we acquired is the third player in the market, and it has an extremely well-known brand with full authorizations for the issuance of certifications. Cert Europe also offers solid business and commercial relationships with important trade associations and large retail resellers of digital services. Now, aside from the financials, which obviously are very attractive, just to give some numbers, by 2020, revenue pro forma revenues were 14 million and EBITDA was 5.2 million, or 37% margin. The importance of this deal stems from the strategic entrance in foreign market. Tinexta has the financial firepower to enter such deals. It has the management expertise and bandwidth to manage these assets. And among all, it has the opportunity to cross-pollinate products and services from its sister companies within the group. We continue to look at opportunities and make clear assessments of the deals that can make a lot of sense for Tinexta and its unique business model. I think it's very important to understand, though, that the digital trust market is currently in very high demand. It's growing at very attractive rates, double digits that is, and at the same time, very fragmented at a European level. The targets that are there, it's just a matter of finding the right and most suitable one. I think the recent M&A deal with Cert Europe represents a perfect candidate when looking for targets. They must be very well known in their local markets. They have to have a very strong relationship with local associations and have attractive and compelling financials. So I would say overall that in order to reach the overall internationalization and therefore grow internationally, it's just a matter of finding the right target. And therefore the speed is extremely, extremely important for us to do that.
Thank you. My next question is, would you talk about why the combination of Innolva's business with Intesa Sanpaolo is so transformative to the medium-term outlook for two of Tinexta's divisions?
Sure. Well, first of all, let me provide you some background on the deal. The transaction was a cashless one, in the sense that Intesa Sanpaolo for value was conferred into Innolva, which is part of CIM, for a 25% stake exchange. The equity value of the 25% of Innolva was valued at 55 million, and there are the usual put-call options on the 25% share capital held by Intesa Sanpaolo, which is a traditional way with which Tinexta carries out M&A. The transaction aims to establish a single integrated domestic group for higher value services to SMEs, and it's intended to strengthen the leadership of Tinexta. This is there's great complementarity between the two partners in agreement. Intesa Sanpaolo for Value coordinates a sales network of over 90 single firms agents widely distributed throughout the country, allowing preferential access to the business client portfolio of Intesa Sanpaolo's Banca dei Territori division. Tinexta, with its unique business model and excellent vertical integration, is one of the main specialist operators in the SME sector, offering consultancy, support in obtaining facilitated financial instruments for innovation, consultancy for internationalization, digital marketing, services to assist decision-making for integrated management of the credit cycle as well. The platform will initially provide a wide range of non-financial services to 110,000 customers in the SMEs of this Intesa Sanpaolo segment, comprising of over 150,000 small and medium-sized companies. Now, from a financial standpoint, in the final year of the plan, which is 2025, the transaction is expected to lead to an additional revenue between 55 and 60 million euros, and to an expected combined margin consistent with that of CIM and IMS business units. So to provide a better picture, the combined marginality of CIM and IMS is in the range of, let's say, 37% on a 2021 expected basis. If we calculate that margin on the 55 million euro additional revenue, we're talking about 20 million of additional EBITDA by 2025. It is fair to say that about less than half will be achieved by 2023. All these estimates on profitability are obviously taking into consideration the potential synergies that will stem between CIM and IMS by incorporating Intesa Sanpaolo for Value into Tinexta's business model.
Thanks very much. My final question is on cybersecurity, which is a new business unit for Tinexta. Would you give an overview of management's aspirations for it, an update on how the integration of the acquired businesses has gone, and perhaps give some insight into how the offer is evolving?
Sure. Cybersecurity is indeed a new business unit, and the main aspiration, as mentioned earlier, is that of creating a national hub for cybersecurity, and therefore a national champion. The integration is going extremely well. When we think of cybersecurity, we don't just look at security and therefore defense, but we also look at the increased productivity for both large corporations as well as SMEs. We have a clear set strategy when it comes to target markets, financial services, SMEs, and at a later stage, it's all about distribution. The offer consists of the four pillars I mentioned before: advisory, implementation, software products to some extent, and managed security services. We recently announced a strategic partnership with Leonardo, and we signed a memorandum of understanding to protect the Italian manufacturing sector from cyber threats, and in particular the sector which have more proven vulnerable in the last year: manufacturing, financial services, textile and fashion, and utilities. The main focus is to combine the expertise of Leonardo and of Tinexta in the areas of the Internet of Things, operational technology, and digital trust. The partnership will be directed by a joint steering committee, which will evaluate all future initiatives. As far as financials are concerned, we expect to double the projected 2020 and 2021 EBITDA of approximately 10 million by 2023. It's an ambitious plan, but we have the right people, the approach, and the business model to achieve it.
Thank you very much, Joseph. Thanks for your time.
Thank you for having me.